In this video, we're going to talk about setting up your display for your header type and your harvest settings. So let's say you're set up to start for the year and your display is still set from last year for corn and you're starting out this year in wheat. So the first thing you want to do is go to your grower farm field and look through your grower farm field settings and either select a designated grower farm field or start a new. For this video, we'll use the training grower and the training farm, but we are going to start a new field for a wheat harvest. Click apply. Crop type, select to wheat. Header name, we have a 3020 30-foot flex auger head, and our vehicle will be pre-designated to the machine that you're in. Next, you want to go to your menu, click on your header tab, select your header name. So we have 3020 30-foot, and our header type, grain. Want to make sure that we have our frame type selected, either rigid or flex head. You will see by selecting the header type to grain, our cutting type automatically changes to platform and cannot be changed by the operator. And you have a selection for header sensors, either disabled or enabled. And then you also have the ability to reconfigure the header raise and lower controls based on operator preference. Next, you can go to the right hand side and see that we have an accessory tab, a reel tab, measurement tabs, and header height control. So for accessories, you can select whether or not you have header fore aft or tilt, vertical knives installed or not installed, Verifeed knife position not installed, or a flip up kit. Next, we have the header tab. You can select your reel type, either hydraulic installed or not installed, whether you have a reel speed sensor, your desired reel speed minimums, your reel speed offsets, and horizontal or vertical position sensors. On the measurements tab, you can select your header width. In this case, we are using a 30-foot 3020, so you can select your header width to 30 feet. And if you have a desired target work width, you can change that. So we have this set up for a 28-foot work width. And you can set whether you have a left or right offset from center, auto cut width on, and what your cut width adjustment step would be in feet, and your header alarm and the desired amount of rings. And in the header height control tab, you can adjust your maximum work height, auto level and headland, auto tilt and headland, your auto header lift, height tilt response, normal or fast, your header height control sensitivities, your lower and raise rates, and your tilt rates. Also, you can select whether or not you have pressure float mode installed or not installed. So now that you have your header selections made, you can go back to the menu and click on the Combine tab, and you can go through your Combine settings to make any adjustments as needed. So on the main settings tab, you'll see Combine type, the country code, whether or not you have a UCM3 module installed or not installed, and your console backlighting. On the right hand side, we also have the drive tab, your speed ranges, the electrical tab, feeder, threshing, cleaning, grain handling, residue, unloading, engine, and service. So working our way down the tabs, on our drive tab, you see we have drop downs for speed and accelerations, feed rate, hydrostatics, your traction axle, and your steering axle. So if we expand these, you have an auto low idle installed or not installed, auto economy installed or not installed, and your target max engine load. In the feed rate tab, you can select whether or not feed rate is installed or not installed and set your feed rate sensitivity. In your hydrostatics, you can see your hydro motor displacement and your hydro pump displacement. These are not adjustable. Your traction axle, you can see your differential gear type, final drive type, track type installed or not installed. For tired machines, you will have not installed. The tire radius for the front drive tires, your calibration distance, your ground drive configuration, and your differential lock either installed or not installed. Important to note, your differential gear type and your final drive type are not adjustable. And for the steering axle, you can select 2-speed powered rear axle installed or not installed. This machine has a 2-speed powered rear axle installed. Next, you can see the speed range tab, where you can see your maximum and minimum speeds based on your range. We are currently in low range for a skier. In electrical, this is where you can turn automatic crop settings on or off, and your rundown functionality, which is not adjustable. Your feeder, you can see your lift cylinder diameters, the number of tilt cylinders, your feeder type, your feeder on the road protection, feeder speed, minimum auto feeder speed, maximum auto feeder speed, and feeder fore aft tilt. Threshing, you can set your threshing loss sensitivities, remote adjust rotor vanes installed or not installed, rotor motor displacement, and rotor configuration. Your motor displacement and your configuration are not adjustable. Cleaning, remote upper sieve installed or not installed. If you change sieves based on your crop type, this is where you would change your configurations. So for upper sieve, you can see your different options. Same for lower sieves, you can see your different options. Remote lower sieve installed or not installed. Remote pre-sieve, your pre-sieve spacing, automatic fan control, sieve loss sensitivity, sieve offset, tailing volume sensitivity, self-leveling sieves, sieve shaker speed sensor, and your cleaning width, as well as sieve pressure sensor. Grain handling, you can select your cover type, your cover sensor type. These are set based on how the machine is built. Independent cross-auger control, and the grain cam. Residue, deflector adjust, manual set points, in-cab windrow door, chute extensions, and in-cab chopper speed. You also have your residue system and chopper knives. These are not adjustable. Chopper type, whether it's an integral chopper or a straw hood chopper. Your left spread deflector, center spread deflector, and right spread deflector actuators. Unloading, you can set a desired spout operating point, whether or not you have an extension or no extension on your unload tube, a pivoting unload spout installed or not installed, and a folding unload tube installed or not installed. For engine, you have your engine model. This is not able to be altered. Your blow-off kit, engine low speed alarm, fuel clogging sensor, fuel alarm level, and engine grid heater. And on the last tab we have service. This reads out your service intervals. So this machine has 7 hours of runtime, and it shows on these scales for your 50, 100, 300, and 600 hour service intervals.